time.
A little bit of the bubbly.
To turn your attention to...
That's gotta be... 'Cause that's the bottom line.
The Titantron.
And we are live. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and it is now time to turn your attention to the Titantron. We are here without that old man, Thomas Montalto. It is just yours truly, Hollywood Young Tony, ready to review what might go down as the greatest, if not the greatest WWE draft that has ever taken place. And I'm talking about 2002. I'm talking about 2016. Hell, I'm talking about the Superstar Shakeup. This has to be one of the best that we have ever seen. We already have some Tavern inmates. We have Jaden here. There's no Sneed tonight. Thank God we don't have Sneed on this show. Oh, and my best friend Tyson. How are you doing tonight? Of course, my beard is actually growing in, as you can see. But, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to talk about all things Titantron and how great we had of an amazing draft. And, oh my goodness, finally, I am away from the other Tavern mates. Mike Bellcaster's not here. Neither of the Chads are here. Thank God Tom is not here. And we are ready for an amazing show. And okay. I think he's gone. I am so sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I think Hollywood Young Tony was in the building tonight. You got to forgive me on that. I hope he'll stay at bay. Let me know if he cuts in again, but I think we should be good. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here. I am Young Anthony of the Titantron, and yes, I am taking over. Tom is unfortunately not here tonight, but we do have Clark Street Wrestling. How are you doing? We have Jaden. What's going on? As well as Tyson. And Jonathan is here as well with the Holy Cow. I don't know. I think Young Tony might be at bay. So just let me know if he comes in again. Put a comment, but I don't know. Front Face Lock is here. I have been left on my own again, which means, we're going to have some fun tonight. But nevertheless, we have a great Smackdown to talk. Also, let me know if my connection's okay, because I see a little Wi-Fi, little button showing up here. So let me know if my connection is okay. But I think we should be all right. Tyson, I'm going to rely on you. But Tyson says, when the blue hell, let Hollywood in. Let Hollywood in. I hope that he will stay away because we don't need Hollywood here tonight. But stick around because he might pop in. If you're looking for Hollywood, he might pop in. But nevertheless, we've got a great show to talk about as we have fireworks in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. SmackDown was not good tonight. Well, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. As I talk about the show and the draft, let me know what you're thinking. Did you enjoy SmackDown tonight? Did you enjoy the Good Friends, Better Enemies podcast? Of course, is in the building. Hope you stick around for this SmackDown review. And let me know what you thought about the draft, because I have some thoughts on it, and I did not think it was good. Draft was rigged. Hollywood Young Tony. I know. I wish he would have gotten drafted, because that would just make WWE's ratings go all the way up. You see, we have 3-4 viewers right now. That's more than we get on a SmackDown recap in general. And that's because Young Tony was here. Lesnar learned how to cut a promo. You're not wrong. But look, I gotta start off with this show because tonight was not good. I know. He used the color like a Hogan. You know what I mean? Colored in the beard. So let's just jump right in. The draft. We start off with what was it? Two picks. Yes, 2 picks each in each round. 4 rounds. We're not going with Raw with 3 picks and SmackDown 2 picks, which I like. So SmackDown starts off Roman Reigns. Obviously, there's no reason why they shouldn't have picked Roman first. Big E goes to Raw. I was okay with it. So I was good with those 2 picks. And then we get Charlotte to SmackDown. So I was expecting a title flip, but I was not expecting this one, nor do I like this one. I think you're okay to have Bianca, Becky, and Sasha staying on SmackDown. You don't need Charlotte here. It just makes no sense to have her come in here. Well, they did that the last 2 years, but this year it's just 2 picks for SmackDown, 2 picks for Raw each round. So, which I like. I like that they did it like this year. Although I'm interested to see like what the roster is going to be like for Raw now that it's just 2 picks each. So I don't like Charlotte to SmackDown. Does that mean that Becky's going to go to Raw? What I would be not opposed to seeing is Becky staying on SmackDown, and maybe we unify the titles. That is my crazy booking. Of course, that is not going to happen. But hey, I can dream. And then, of course, Bianca goes to Raw. Again, I'm not happy with what they did with the women tonight. Maybe they'll make up for it on Raw. Who knows? But nevertheless, that was the first round. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Did you enjoy these picks? You can jump ahead to round 2 or 3. Who was your favorite pick? Who do you think is going to be a good pick going forward? Let me know. But anyways, we get into this first segment. Roman cuts another promo. It's just Roman and Paul. Then rebooking. Well, I mean, you do a lot of rebooking over at the Good Friends, Better Enemies podcast, which you can check out my episode where I rebooked Night of Champions 2011. And I rebooked like the entire Summer of Punk, which you should go check out. So Roman comes out with Paul. Both of them cut a promo. Couldn't tell you what they talked about. Probably just acknowledge Tribal Chief and whatever. And Brock comes out, and that was a surprise, right? Brock Lesnar. I wasn't really expecting him to be on the show, but surprise, surprise. The Roman and Brock get into it, get a little bit of a brawl, and then the Usos just get suplexed all around and get F5'd as Roman watches menacingly. I couldn't say that word. Good opening promo. Brock and Roman continuously just... They are probably one of the better stories right now, and have been one of the better stories consistently these last few SmackDowns and months of SmackDown, I should say. I'm actually looking forward to Crown Jewel. I know that's insane to say. When was the last time that you could genuinely say that you were looking forward to a Saudi Arabia show? Maybe when they were going to give the title to The Fiend because I was happy for Bray Wyatt. But honestly, when was the last time that you could genuinely say that you were excited for a Saudi Arabia show? They have already a stacked card, right? Brock and Roman, the triple threat match for the women's title. You even got a Goldberg-Lashley match, which now that it's non-title, I'm actually kind of excited for, as well as another SmackDown match that we're probably getting. So we'll get into it. But solid opener. Chad, are you looking forward to seeing Brock and Roman at Crown Jewel? Are you looking forward to Crown Jewel altogether? Leave that in the comments below as we are going to move on to the next segment, which is, of course, Happy. And I'm back. You thought you weren't going to get some Hollywood Tony tonight? Come on. What was Tony even? What was Anthony even talking about? Did we talk about the Brock promo? It was good. Okay, look, WWE is the best thing going right now. If you're an AEW fan, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, if you are not consistently watching WWE, you are out of your mind. There's so much good happening right now that this is the only company that you should be watching. All right, just hear me out. All right, just like this. All right, Happy Corbin. And what is his new name? Mad Cat Moss, Madcap Moss, best thing going on SmackDown right now in wrestling, period. You want to talk about Kenny Omega and Bryan Daniels? Ooh, they had a 30-minute match. Shut up. All right? Shut up. Because we have Happy Corbin. All right? You want to talk about hot-shotting, giving Baron Corbin his money? I don't care. They're telling an amazing story here. And thankfully, okay, we get Corbin getting the win. And that just means that Kevin Owens is one step closer to going to number 2, as I like to call them, the company that must not be named. All right. Oh, look. And we have some comments, of course, from my favorite fan of the Tavern. Well, if we get title changes at Crown Jewel, we will know. Well, you're right, Tyson. Hopefully, we just hopefully we make more titles. All right. I want to see more champions in the WWE. I want to see the WWE Raw Women's Intercontinental Championship. I want to see the WWE SmackDown Women's United States Championship. All right. I want to see more Women's Tag Team Championships because I think that's what we need in the WWE right now. There's more championships. So go wash your face, Hollywood. If I wasn't through this screen. All right. Sit there and enjoy. All right. When's the last time that you could say that Hollywood was in the building? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So enjoy it while you can. All right. Kevin Owens loses tonight. Thank God. All right. I don't care about Kevin Owens. He can move on to what is it? The second company in wrestling right now. Maybe even the third. If you're a New Japan, whatever fan. He's got to move on. All right. So good stuff. Thankfully, we get a Corbin win. Let me know in the comments, even though I don't care. Let me know what you thought of this match. Did you enjoy it? All right. You'd rather watch Hawk. Well, actually, all right. Hawk is the only person in the Tavern that I enjoy being in the company with. All right. I enjoy his presence. So, Hawk, if you were watching this, shout out to you. Of course, if you're watching this, you're a fan of the Titantron, which, of course, you can subscribe to the Titantron podcast. Follow me on Instagram at the Titantron. Of course, the Tavern deletes my banners, so I can't put that up. But you can follow me at the Titantron podcast on Instagram, at @the_Titantron on Twitter. Nevertheless, we roll on as we have a good segment coming up next. Although, of course, any segment here is better than anything that... God damn it. I swear. I have no idea what is going on tonight. All right. Hollywood keeps popping up. Tyson, thank you for keeping them at bay. I don't know what's going on. All right. It says my connection's bad. Maybe it has to do with something with that. But God damn. I think we're good now. All right. Hopefully we don't get no Hollywood run-ins tonight because we've gotten enough already. Tyson's up to here. I could already see it. If you're in the chat, please help me out here. Keep this at bay. All right. We're going to move on. Thankfully, I guess he already covered Corbin and Owens, something that I'm not a fan of. Riddick Moss coming in doesn't make sense, but whatever. But we're going to move on to probably the best segment in its entirety on the show. We actually have some comments that I completely missed out on. Hardy going to SmackDown. Maybe he will get some better matches. I hope so. All right. I want to talk about Hardy later on, so stick around. Once we get to him, just stick around for him, all right? Because I have some stuff to say on that. It was amazing. I guess you're talking about the Brock and Roman segment, which, yeah, of course. As we have a dog barking outside this neighborhood. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so we're going to move on to probably the best segment on the night, or at least one of, because that opening promo was pretty good. Edge cuts a good promo, as he does, and then we see Seth Rollins on the Titantron, And he basically says, I'm here at your house. Edge darts to the back. I thought he was actually going to show up in the house. Thankfully, he didn't, because that would not make sense. But Rollins basically just goes through his house, sits in his chair, eats his apples, does just all this. It looks at. I was actually hoping that we would see more action in the house, like breaking a picture or tearing down the artwork of his kids, just a little something to make it more personal. But still, this was a cool visual, seeing him in his actual house. I'm pretty sure that was his actual house. Fact check me on that. Let me know if that was actually the house of the Rated R superstar. But I'm pretty sure it was, which makes it that much better. Didn't see Beth. So maybe it wasn't, because it was drawn out a little bit. It felt too long. So maybe it wasn't the best. And also, not having Edge to react with Rollins was kind of weird too. Like, you figured, he would kind of bounce off of what he was doing and make it a little more interesting. But he wasn't there. He darted to the back, and that was he gets on the call with Beth, and that was really it. And then we just move on from that. So looking back on it now, it probably wasn't the best segment. There's things that you can nitpick, but at the end of the day, what I will say is that Rollins and Edge, I'm looking forward to this third match. And I didn't think I would be, but thankfully they're doing enough to really build up this story to the point where I am very much looking forward to Rollins and Edge 3. And it's looking like it's going to happen at Crown Jewel. So, to the chat, if you are booking Edge and Rollins at Crown Jewel, 1, who's winning? And 2, are you putting a stipulation to it? Because I feel like you need a stipulation to this match to make it a little bit more interesting, make it a little more different than what we've seen. Thought we were going to get a stipulation for one of these matches, but we haven't gotten one yet. So what are we doing here? Let me know. Drop a comment. Got 3 viewers right now. Tell your friends to get on in here, because we're having a lot of fun tonight. No Tom, unfortunately, but at least Rollins got in the house, unlike Samoa Joe with AJ. Good call. Good call. I'm surprised that Edge left the door unlocked. Maybe that's the philosophy he lives by, or something along the lines of that. Who knows? Edge for the win. It makes sense. I would say Edge for the win, to really close out the storyline with a nice little bow on it. You know what I mean? So I would have to agree with you there. But we are going to move on to our next segment, which is round 2 of the... Yeah, okay. All right. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next segment of the... Shut up. All right, young Anthony. I'm back. What did I miss? We talked about Edge and Rollins. Great stuff. All right. You don't see this type of storytelling on AEW. All right. Let me tell you. When was the last time you saw someone break into another man's house on national TV? All right. When was the last time you saw this? The Hacker Tony. All right. The Hacker was a great storyline. If only they didn't drop the ball on it. But you could call me the Hacker tonight if you want to. I'm invading the Tavern at all costs. The Tavern is not safe when Hollywood is around. This is me trying to make the Tavern take notice of Hollywood a little bit, because I'm getting a little bit underappreciated. I'm getting a little bit pissed off. All right. If I could shoot a little bit. All right. Chad, Sneed, Tom, they're not giving me the spotlight that I deserve. You know what I mean? When was the last time that you saw me on TV? When Tom wasn't here? What, I got to pick up the leftovers? Get me on TV, Tavern. All right. Hollywood is in the building. Triple H, exactly. Brian Pillman, one of the best things of all time. Tyson's going to take a piss. All right. Go ahead. You want to call me the piss break? Go right ahead. Hollywood, baby. Hollywood. What's this next segment we got here? We got more draft picks, actually. So, let's talk about it. Coming up, Drew McIntyre. You want to talk about star, right? People have been saying, oh, Drew McIntyre's stale because he's fought for the WWE title. I would rather see Drew McIntyre fight for the WWE Championship a million times than I would rather see some indie darling. Oh, great work rate. I'm not here for it. Give me big, strong men in a wrestling ring, and I'm good to go. All right? All right? Drew McIntyre. Hey, man. Moving right along. Rated RK Bro to Raw. Matt Riddle, doing great. Randy Orton, star. If you created a wrestler from the ground up, out of made a statue from the ground up of wrestler, it would look like Randy Orton. All right. When was the last time that you could say that you could build a wrestler from the ground up and it would look like him? All right. Are you saying that for CM Punk? No, I don't think so. Cody Rhodes. If I saw a statue of Cody Rhodes, I would knock the head right off of it. Deface that statue, I should say. Hashtag anybody but Kofi. Kofi. Hashtag anybody but Cody. I'd rather see Kofi in a ring than Cody Rhodes. Come on now. Moving right along. New Day. You see, storytelling. You split up the New Day. You just brought them back together. The fans are all happy. And boom, you split them back together. You want the fans to draw interest. And this is how you do it. You're not going to have the New Day on one show. You're not going to have the New Day on one show. You're going to have the New Day on two shows. So you could watch your champion. All right. You could watch your champion on one show. And you could watch your tag team on the other show. It makes perfect sense. All right, people are on social. But why would they split up the New Day? They just put the New Day back together. Why would they split up the New Day? Shut up. That's what I have to say to that. All right. It makes sense. It makes complete sense. You want to give the fans the opposite of what they want so that they can watch even more until they get what they want. That's how it works. Exactly. A man of culture from the number 2 company here. All right. That's all I have to say about that. This is why I love Front Face Lock podcast, because they speak the truth. And then your last pick is Edge over to Raw. I don't hate it. I don't hate anything that the WWE does because they're perfect in every which way. All right. They are completely perfect. I would watch WWE for the rest of my life if I wanted to. Eva Marie, Nia Jax, Doudrop. I got everything I ever wanted with the WWE right now. So you put Edge on Raw. Now you have Edge versus Big E. Now you got Edge versus Bobby Lashley. Now you got Edge versus, I don't know. You got Edge versus Rated RK Bro, because by this point, this is the only other people on Raw that were drafted. So you could have so many other options. That's why you do this. The draft is the greatest day in WWE every year. All right. WrestleMania is a close second, but the draft, baby. The draft. This is where the magic happens. Let me know what you think about these picks. Let me know. Drop a comment and tell me why you think that the draft is just the best thing that the WWE does every year. Let me know, because I know why it is, because I'm entertained. I'm sports entertained, which is the point of watching sports entertainment. But let me know why you enjoyed it tonight, because I would love to know why. Because we are going to move on. And you know what? I'm not going to get cut off for a second. We're going back and forth. That's kayfabe, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm going to another segment. Grief face Cody sucks. Even that candy ass. Candy ass. We save these hate comments for Hawk. All right, Tyson. You could have your rivalry there. But me? No. You don't want to get into that. You don't want to get into that, all right? I wear the lei for a reason. This lei cost more than it took to bring Brock back to the WWE. Let me tell you. It's not rated RK, bro. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. It was rated RKO. You're right. No, you're right. I was talking about Arcade Bro with Riddle. But hey, now we get to see it maybe again. But I'm going to move on to what might have been the best segment on the show. Liv Morgan, Carmella. Where are you seeing storytelling in the women's division like you are seeing tonight? All right? Liv Morgan, Carmella, you think you're going to get a rematch, and what happens? Carmella doesn't want anything to do with it, puts on a bedazzled mask. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Carmella, by the way, all right? Just the best looking woman in all of wrestling. No one comes close. Just a beautiful story with the perfect woman to be in there. All right. Carmella, you got Eva Marie, you got Nia Jax, you got Doudrop, you got Tamina and Natalia. This is your perfect women's division. There's no need to put even an ounce of interest into the DMDs of the world, and who else you got? Oh, Ruby Riott. All right, Ruby Riott. Yeah, that's really gonna move the needle for sure. I love this segment. WWE is not doing anything wrong with their women's division. This is a perfect example of it. You wanted more stories on SmackDown. You wanted more stories with the women. This is what you're going to get, and it is perfect. Tyson kind of agrees with me. I'm more of a Carmella fan at the end of the day. But hey, you know, Liv Morgan, if you're enjoying the story, that's all that matters. Ruby Soho. Excuse me. You can actually save that name for the show that's going to be happening after the most must-see show on the Turnbuckle Tavern every Friday night. You can see that. You can save that name for after the show, which is the Rampage recap. You could save that for then. But for now, she's called Ruby Riott. He's called Daniel Bryan. And we're going to move on. All right. WWE is the best wrestling in the world because Hollywood Tony says so. All right. As I open back up my notes, and we are going to move on to another great Tyson, I thought you were watching. I thought you were gonna keep Hollywood away. I guess we're dealing with this tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm trying to run a great show. I'm trying to run a great show here. And Hollywood just keeps ruining it. It's not like I want to review the Smackdown anyways. It wasn't even good. All right. I gotta wipe the tears. All right. I didn't lose my smile yet, guys. I'm okay. We got to get back. Okay. Drop a comment. Let me know what you're thinking of this show and SmackDown. Get a VPN. You know, I may have to invest in a VPN just for Hollywood Tony. Like I would literally just use it. I would buy the VPN at 9:55. Turn it on for this SmackDown recap. Get off the SmackDown recap and cancel my subscription and do that every week. If that means no Hollywood, I'd be fine with that. You think that I'm like okay with Hollywood Tony taking over? I'm not. I'm not okay with it. There needs to be a line drawn, and we need to put some locks on the Tavern. All right. We have the Tavern open. The door is always open. I know it's everyone where everyone knows your name. It's great and all, but we need to start enforcing some rules here. Rule number 1, no Hollywood. As we move on, we have, and by the way, I know Hollywood Tony was talking some great stuff about that Liv Morgan and Carmella match. What do you think I thought about that? Tom is a big Liv Morgan fan. I'm sure he would be happy to see Liv Morgan on the show. However, come on, Carmella with a mask now. I guess it makes the story a little interesting. It gives a little bit more than just match after match after match. Where was Zelina Vega? Is she just out of this story completely? Why did Carmella only have the mask on for a move and then she took it off? Why don't you just wear it consistently? I don't understand it. They also basically did the same story as NXT with Mandy Rose. I don't know if anyone here watched NXT, but Mandy Rose wearing the mask because she got her face broken by Saray. And now the same thing is happening here. I don't get it. I don't know why, but moving right along, we get ourselves a 8-man tag team match with the New Day, who are now on SmackDown for some reason, instead of being on Raw with Big E. By the way, WWE is doing everything in their power not to give us that Bloodline versus New Day versus Hurt Business match, and I cannot believe that they are just squandering on that idea. That is what you have to do at Survivor Series. There's no other way around it. You have to do the 3-on-3-on-3. It doesn't have to be War Games, but just make that match happen. And the fact that they split up the New Day and Big E, also the fact that they did the exact same trade or the same draft scenario from last year with Big E going one place and the New Day going another place. And this time it has no build to it and no emotion. Just really goes to show you where we stand here. Focus needs to be on Carmella and Liv. I agree. But then again, you need a little something to make it interesting, I guess. And this kind of does that with the mask, but come on. Like, there's nothing else you could do. You need a bedazzled mask. I guess it kind of, most beautiful woman, now she's going to mask herself. I don't know, but it just makes no sense. The 8-man tag, did anyone care? I personally did not. Actually, it was an okay match. I just didn't really care for it. We've seen these tag teams already. Now Kofi and Xavier Woods are going to be thrown into SmackDown, which I guess makes the SmackDown tag team division a little bit refreshed. Kofi and Woods versus the Usos. We can get that. There's definitely options here. Chat, let me know what you are looking forward to seeing. What are your big matches, your big predictions for Survivor Series? I want to know what you would book now that we have kind of a little bit more clarity on who we're going to see where on each brand. What would you do? How would you do it? How would you book Survivor Series in Brooklyn? Let me know. Angelo Dawkins looked like a star here. They give him the hot tag every time. He looks great every time he does it. Montez, always solid. But besides that, Ziggler gets his super kicks in. It was a fine match. It's just, you give me no reason to care for it every time. Like, I can't get behind it. Drew versus Reigns. Now, would you do Drew versus Reigns at Survivor Series? Because I would hold off, and maybe this is crazy, but I would hold off until Mania. For me, if they're not doing Rock versus Roman, this is the biggest match from a standpoint of people that you've built up that you could do. You built up Drew for more than a year. You built up Roman clearly more than a year. So now this leaves you with two top stars going at it for the championship at Mania, and you have time to build to that story. Of course, if you don't do Roman versus Rock, which is my first pick. But hey, who knows? Hold off until Mania. Great minds think alike. So we move on to the last round of the draft for tonight. So we get some interesting picks here. By the way, I want to just talk real quick about Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce giving these picks. You had the perfect chance to finally have some GMs, right? Not officials, GMs. Put Sonya on SmackDown, put Pierce on Raw. And what do? You have them in the Stephanie McMahon spot of just reading off the picks. I guess Stephanie doesn't work on Fridays nowadays because you could have easily just had Stephanie come in here and do that gimmick and it would have been the exact same thing. So now you still don't have GMs on either of the shows. This sucks. This draft makes no sense. Some of these picks, they didn't even really have big names on these picks. You had Naomi going to SmackDown, which continues the Sonya Deville story, I guess. So at least you have another kind of story there. The Mysterios to Raw. They haven't given me a reason to care about the Mysterios. So again, I really don't care unless they do Dom and Ray in a match together. I don't know. However, Jeff Hardy SmackDown. I told you I was going to talk about Jeff. Just give me a second. Austin Theory to Raw, splitting up the way. I wonder if that means Gargano is either gone, which could be a possibility, or if they're going to move him up to the main roster. They haven't been testing him out, so I don't know. But wasn't there like some news about his contract expiring? Something to look out for. If Gargano is leaving the company, they need to do Ciampa versus Gargano one more time. You cannot end off their feud on that shitty one final beat match. I know that's supposed to be the end of it, whatever. Do it one more time in front of fans and make it mean something. Ciampa has the title right now. Make him the first challenger just so we can end off Gargano's reign in NXT on a high note. Just like they did with Cole, with O'Reilly, do it with Gargano because he deserves it. He's one of the pillars of NXT. It makes sense. So Jeff Hardy, do you go with Hardy as a main event star here? Keep in mind that Candice is pregnant. True, but that doesn't really affect Gargano, nor does it affect Austin or Indy. You could still do the way with Austin and Gargano. And there's obviously still continuing that story with Indy and Dexter. So I don't know. It's just interesting that they went that way. Apparently they see something in Austin Theory. I don't know. He has a star potential to him, so why not? So Jeff Hardy, do you make him into a main event star? Is that the reason why he was drafted here and he was not just a free agent that signed after the draft, whatever? Do you go ahead and do you put him in this main spotlight and we do Hardy versus Roman at some point? Because there's a lot that you could do with Jeff Hardy. And I know that a lot of people have been saying that Jeff Hardy, not really great in the ring. And I get that. He gets winded easily now. Can you Jeff versus Roman? You can also bring in Willow, which I know that Jeff has been talking about bringing in Willow the Wisp, his TNA gimmick, eventually. That he was going to come into WWE at one point. So is this when you do it? The move to SmackDown definitely had to happen. So I'm okay with that happening. But it just becomes, what do you do with him now? You gave him back No More Words. You made him job out carrying Cross. Is this where we finally say Hardy is a main event talent? Chat, we got 5 of you in here. Someone's got to let me know. What are we doing with Jeff Hardy? Is it finally his time to go ahead and become a main event player? Let me know, because I honestly just couldn't tell you. However, I will say, best thing on SmackDown, Jeff Hardy, Brock Lesnar, stare down for 3 seconds was the best thing on this entire show. I'm not even kidding. When I saw Jeff start to cut the promo, I was happy. When I saw Brock come face to face, I need to see that match. I know it'll never happen, but I need to see that match at least once. Just give it to me once. That's all I need to see. You thought that I wasn't going to come in here one more time You thought you were done with Young Tony? Hollywood Young Tony, I should say. Shout out to J-Bone for giving me this name, by the way, this moniker. Because it really just brings out my true personality. You know, I really just love what I'm doing here at the Tavern, really bringing it up. Again, I can't believe that this guy keeps coming in. All right. We have given him way too much access here at the Tavern. Someone needs to. Ha 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 ha. You thought you were going to cut me off. This guy, Young Anthony. I don't even know why this is here. This should be Hollywood Young Tony. All right. I'm sick. I'm sick of the disrespect. All right. I'm sick of the being cut off. This is enough. All right. This is enough. What is this? We're talking about who the fuck is Willow? What? Willow. Isn't that like Will Smith's daughter or something? Why are we talking about Willow in a WWE centered show? I don't know. Maybe Tyson knows something that I don't. But, I think we're up to the Brock promo, and Brock's a free agent now, which is the greatest thing because now we get to see Brock Lesnar on both Raw and SmackDown. It's just, you gotta love what WWE is doing all around. They are the top dogs. No one comes close. You want to talk about the number 2 company in wrestling right now? All right. Tell me someone that moves the needle as much as Brock Lesnar. Numb nuts. Did you just call me that? I should end the live right here, but I won't because I'm talking about the greatest show on a weekly basis, and that is, of course, Smackdown, the WWE's A show. Although Raw is also the A show, so is NXT. But we all know what the B show is. I won't say it, but you know. I won't say it, but you know. Who moves the needle like Brock Lesnar in the B show? Hangman Adam Page. Yeah, he's really going to take that company up to the next level, all right? Powerhouse Hobbs. Oh my God. The future is just, you could see the stars aligning when you look at guys like Sammy Guevara. Yeah, real nice TNT champion for you right there. You had a bona fide star in Rusev that you just completely mess him up. You give it to Sammy Guevara. Give me a break. Who else is even on that show? Darby Allin. Yeah. Darby Allin's babysitter, Sting, ladies and gentlemen. You got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and look at you now. It's sad. It's sad. The B show is Hollywood Tony. You know what? I may as well not even put up these comments anymore from Tyson. He's ridiculous. You want to know a star in the B show? MJF. He's got all the ingredients to be a star because he gets it. All right? He gets it. Not like these marks who think, the 18 to 49 demographic and the ratings with the DVRs. WWE's top dog, ladies and gentlemen. They just are. They just are. If you can't see that, then you must be blind. Brock is moving the needle. Goldberg should be a free agent. I want to see Goldberg every night. Give him to me every night. Put Goldberg on NXT and it'll draw ratings. Hell, put Goldberg on the B show and it'll draw ratings. You want them to crack 1.5, 2 mil like SmackDown. You want them to get SmackDown numbers. You put Brock Lesnar on the show. You put Goldberg on the show. You throw a women's division like Eva Marie and Nia Jax and Doudrop and Natalya and Tamina. You put them all together, and there's your ratings, ladies and I'm done. I am done. Let's just get through this last segment because I know that he's talking about AEW, and I can't have that here because AEW is show after this. So let's just run through this last main event segment. Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair was a meh match. It was fine. It was of course, I'm comparing that to their WrestleMania match. So of course, I'm not going to be as pro this match because that match was superb. This one was okay. You had Becky on commentary, which a little annoying, but I think obviously that was the point. So the match was okay. It was a little sloppy at times. Save us TNT. That's what I mean. You need to step in and put some authority. You are an honorary member of the Tavern, the enforcer. You need to pull an Arn. Maybe not that far, but help us out here. So the match was okay, sloppy. Bianca couldn't do the gorilla press. Sasha's Meteora was a little iffy. I'm nitpicking things here, but the match really didn't reach a "this is awesome" chant point for me. It was just a fine match. It wasn't groundbreaking. But there were some cool moves. You got a nice nice spots with Sasha, sliding under Bianca's legs, trying to do the power bomb, which I thought looked very clean. Even Bianca throwing Sasha onto the barricade, that was good too. And then, of course, Becky gets involved, pulls on Bianca's hair to lead to the most devastating move in all of wrestling, the roll-up. Actually, I should say the most devastating move in all of WWE, the roll-up. Which then leads us to the final moments of the show, which the final moments of the show were perfect. Charlotte comes out and annihilates everybody. This is what you need to happen every week. Charlotte is the top dog in women's wrestling, period. All right? Listen. If I get to see Charlotte and Becky Lynch again for the 1 millionth time, they fought at Evolution, they fought at all these other shows. Hell, they fought in the main event of WrestleMania. If I get to see this match one more time, if I have to see it one more time, I'm going to mark out. I'm going to mark out if I see Charlotte and Becky Lynch sharing a ring one more time. Give it to me at Survivor Series. It's fresh. It's new. It's something that I want to see. As a WWE fan, this is the greatest era of WWE's history that we have ever seen. Step aside Attitude Era. Move away ruthless aggression. Right here, right now, is the greatest era of WWE. Because of the roster and how they are used. We are getting Charlotte and Becky Lynch one more time, and I cannot wait for it. Save us TNT. From who? From me? Okay. Hollywood Tony will suffer the most. An RKO. Okay. All right. I would love to see you RKO me through your computer screen because you are a keyboard warrior. Oh, I'm Tyson. I'm going to try and break down the spirit and the legacy of Hollywood. No, 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 no. Hollywood lives forever, Tyson. Hope you come to realize that. As you have already seen on the show, it is my show. I should be here every Smackdown, even when Tom is here. You know what? Forget that old man, all right? We need some youth. We need some energy. We need some Lays. We should start selling Lays at the Tavern if they actually want to get some merchandise sales. Because, by the way, all right, none of those shirts even matter at this point, all right? I'm happy that the All Elite Crow shirt got taken off of Pro Wrestling Tees, and that's a shoot, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is shooting right from the heart. We don't need All Elite Wrestling. I can't believe I'm even saying All Elite on the show. I don't even need to see that. All right, they had to move on to a completely different website to sell that shirt. Good riddance. All right, the only shirt that you need to buy on Pro Wrestling Tees, Young Anthony. Unfortunately, we don't have a Hollywood t-shirt yet, which is just astounding. Because I know Tyson would buy a Hollywood t-shirt. I know for a fact he would. Matter of fact, he probably already bought his Young Anthony t-shirt. I don't know why he did. I hope you burn that t-shirt and you buy a Hollywood when it comes on sale, if it ever does. Who the hell knows? The public loves Hollywood. Our 2 viewers stand for that. That's why I wear the shades. Block out the haters. All right? If you don't like it, go watch something else. Like your idol, CM Punk. Like he says, if you don't like it, shut. All right. I'm going to make this short and sweet because Rampage recap is about to come up. So, first of all, Tyson, if he was threatening you in any way, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that. Don't buy a Hollywood t-shirt if it ever comes on sale. I don't know why you would subject yourself to that. Tyson is the MVP of the Smackdown recaps, especially when Hollywood Tony is in the area. Hey, man, I don't blame you. You should buy a Young Anthony t-shirt, though. Like, Hollywood is separate from Young Anthony. You should buy a Young Anthony t-shirt. That's just me, though. That's just me saying that. But buy a Tavern t-shirt. Why not? That's the shirt you really got to go for. Universal, except for Hollywood. He's out of there. But so overall rating of SmackDown, I'm going to give like 1.5 to 2 stars because I just cannot grapple with how bad the draft was. It just didn't make sense. The picks didn't make sense. Nothing made sense. This was not a good draft. Probably one of the worst. I guess the only bonus was that we didn't have to hear Stephanie McMahon's voice going through these picks. But at the end of the day, a half or 1 out of 1 or 2 or 1/2, or because if you're giving it a half a star, man, more power to you. I honestly would agree with you, but we had some good stuff on the show tonight. The opening promo was good. Seth was fine. The main event was okay. The Brock and Jeff, I think the Brock and Jeff stare down in itself gave it that 1 star. So that's just me. Ow, I just banged my hand. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to wrap up this show because we have Rampage recap coming up right next. Don't even touch your mouse. Put your hands away from the screen because we have Rampage coming up next. I'm sure it was a great show. It just wrapped up now as we speak. I want to thank you all so much. A 1.5. Okay. I agree then. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm very sorry about the run-ins from Hollywood. I will get that under control. Definitely will not be happening next week because Tom will be back and hopefully restoring some order. So I want to thank you for tuning. You couldn't end the show without my review, my final rating, which is a 5-star rating. All right. I gave 5 stars the last time that I did the show, and I'm going to give 5 stars again because compared to the other show that's happening tonight, I am not going to sugarcoat anything, and I am not going to, I'm not going to make things, I'm so pro AEW. No, all right. WWE is the best thing going right now. WWE is the best thing going right now, and that is a fact. All right. I'm giving the show 5 stars. Tyson gave it a 1.5. God bless you. Using it as TP. Ridiculous. Cut the feed, Tom. Tom's not here. Tom is not here to cut my feed. And Tom is not here to allow me to not promote my show because, ladies and gentlemen, as I wish you the worst of days, and I wish you the worst of watching this Rampage recap show, I will promote myself, and I don't care if it goes into the Rampage recap time, because this Sunday you will see a new episode of the Classic Match Classroom, which is the best podcast in professional wrestling right now, better than the Turnbuckle Tavern's flagship show. Shout out to Tyler the Professor. All right. Tyson knows all about, the Classic Match Classroom. He even posted about it. All right. Of course, that was probably young Anthony's doing, but, Hollywood knows that they are the best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be as far as podcasting goes. Classic Match Classroom. Check us out on Sunday. Folks, there's nothing else to say except for if you enjoy tonight's show, you enjoy professional wrestling. All right. You could argue all you want that AEW is the best thing going. It's not. I wish that I could carry on my entire the rest of my show throughout the Rampage recap and even have a little, Friday night war between the AEW marks here on the Tavern. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to start wrapping things up here, but not until I promote myself. Cut the mic, Sneed. Well, Sneed isn't here either. Kill the power. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to take the rest of my time after I wish you a very happy and healthy Friday night to kind of promote myself a little bit. So what I will say is, outside of watching the Classic Match Classroom, the best. Actually, I have my social medias right there, although I have to promote the Tavern a little bit, but, I'm going to take the rest of my time to self-promote because you deserve to hear it and I deserve to say it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you can find the Titantron podcast over on Instagram at the Titantron podcast, as well as on Twitter at _Titantron. I don't have much time. I want to thank you all for tuning into tonight's episode. If you did enjoy, leave a like and a comment. We have the Rampage recap show coming up next, so stick around. Don't click that mouse. And until then, you can follow the Titantron podcast on Instagram at the Titantron podcast, as well as on Twitter at _Titantron. There is so much great content coming our way. The Titantron is the best podcast going on right now. Nope, not going to happen. No, I'm not going to cut myself off. No one's cutting me off tonight. Tom isn't here. Sneed isn't here. It's not going to happen. They programmed it to happen. All right. Titantron podcast on Twitter. You got to follow me. You got to follow me anywhere that you could find the best podcast going right now. Hollywood Young Tony is the best member of the Tavern. Hope you could see me more often, although Tyson would probably go insane if he saw me more, which is the reason why I'm here at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed listening to me profess the truth about professional wrestling. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, for the people in the back, you can follow the Titantron podcast. Take care.